We take a look at number 1. It says find the perimeter of the triangle ABC that has coordinates at 4, negative 0, negative 1, 6, 3, negative 1. I'm going to plot those points. Okay. One thing that you can do, if you are nervous about your plotting points abilities, what you can do is go to Desmos and plot them in. Okay? Put parentheses. Negative 4, comma 0. Plot the next one, which is negative 1, 6. You have to put parentheses or it won't plot. Negative 1, 6. Plot the next one, which is 3, negative 1. And it plots the triangle for you. And if you're on a computer screen, you can take an expo marker, connect your points, and then find the perimeter this way. Okay? Or you can just use your grid and count. So when we find perimeter, we have to add up all the sides. It's essentially what you're doing when you find the perimeter. Okay? And in order to add up all the sides, you have to know the length of all the sides. And they're all slanted, so we just can't count them. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. So on this first side here, this was A, B, C. I'm going to make a right triangle with that side. The side you're trying to find is always your C. Then it doesn't matter, make one your A and make one your B. And then you just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you get 6 squared. Plus my B is 1, 2, 3. 3 squared equals C squared. So we plug that in. 6 squared plus 3 squared is 45. You have to remember to square root both sides to get C by itself. Do not plug it in and round. Okay? Leave it as a radical. Don't round to the very, very end. And then you're going to repeat that same process with the next side. Make your right triangle. Make one side your A, the other side your B, and plug it into Pythagorean theorem. When I count, my A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 squared. Plus my B is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 squared equals C squared. Plug that in your calculator. 7 squared plus 4 squared is 65. Don't forget square root. Get C by itself, so the length of that side is 65. Then you repeat that same process with the next one. The side you're trying to find your C, make one your A and one your B. My A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 squared. Plus my B is 1 squared. Plug that in your calculator. 7 squared plus 1 squared is 50. Then don't forget, square root both sides. So C is equal to radical 50. So we found the length of all 3 of our sides. So to find perimeter, you just add all 3 of those sides together. So in your calculator or Desmos, when we do that, we get radical 45. Make sure you arrow out both in your calculator and Desmos. Plus radical 65, arrow out, plus radical 50. Round to the nearest tenth. I don't think the direction specified. They were supposed to say round to the nearest tenth. So our answer is 21.8. There is the perimeter of that triangle. If we take a look at number 2, it says write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line M, graph below, and passes through the point. So we write equations of a line. We use point slope form. Okay? You're not given this, you have to remember it. But if you kind of remember the pattern, y something equals something times x. and then plug it in. Okay? When you're writing a line that is perpendicular, we know lines that are perpendicular have opposite reciprocal slopes. So what you have to do is find the slope of the original line by doing rise over run. So we do our rise. We go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We went up 5. When we do our run, we went left 2. We went up 5 and left 2. Because we went left 2, that means our 2 is going to be negative. So we went up 5, so our 5 is positive. Because that's the slope of the original line, the slope of the new line has to be its opposite reciprocal. So to find the opposite reciprocal, what you need to do is flip the fraction. So we had 5 over negative 2, that becomes negative 2 over 5. Change the sign. So if it's negative, it's going to turn positive. So our new slope, the slope of our new line is 2 fifths. Okay. Then what you have to do is take the point that they gave you and plug it in. The first number represents x, the second number represents y. So the x value is positive 3, but when you plug it in, it's going to turn negative 3. Same thing with the 2. Plug in the 2 with the y, but the sign changes. So if the point is negative, when you plug it in, it turns positive. If the coordinate of the point is positive, it's going to turn negative. And then that is your answer. You do not need to solve for y. You don't have to. They will accept that as an answer. I don't encourage you to solve for y, especially when your slope is really messy and nothing's going to end up canceling and you're going to have a lot of messy fractions. So leave it like that. That's your answer. Right? You can go to Unit 3 in the OST review module, and there are 2 practice quizzes that you can take.